What you're doing is child abuse. You know he is eroding her self-esteem. You know he is damaging her mentally and emotionally, and you continue to walk her right into the hands of her abuser day after day after day. First, let me go back over two things you said in this tape. First, you said, of course, he's South African, so he has this bad boy thing. How does bad boy and South African go together?
I don't think they're both synonymous. I just think Ian has kind of a bad boy side, and it kind of...
But you don't think this is a cultural thing?
I don't think so.
Then you said, take me through this. You had a knife to your forehead?
What happened was I overheard my mother-in-law talking to Samantha. It was about the garbage. You never empty the trash when you're supposed to. Empty the trash, you know, just kind of like the mean, wicked stepmother kind of thing. So I came and grabbed the trash bag from my daughter's hands, and I slammed it into the trash can, and I said, no, Sam, you don't have to empty the trash. It could stay right there. And then Yvonne was standing there. She had been cutting this dog food up with a knife, and she held the knife up like that in front of me, like, make me. And so I pressed in, and she pressed in, and the next thing I knew, the knife was pressed against my forehead.
Yeah, we're going to circle back to this.
My stepdaughter Samantha is a master manipulator along with her mother. Samantha is very controlling and narcissistic. She lies about everything. Once she told Sandy that my mother pushed her into the island in the kitchen. My mother's 86 and walks with a cane. It was a big fat lie. Another time, Samantha was playing at the neighbor's house. Samantha broke a vase ornament and then blamed one of the other kids. Samantha steals things. My mother has seen where Samantha's taken stuff out of her room. Samantha's lazy. My mother does all the cooking in the house. Samantha refuses to cook anything for herself. I don't agree with Sandy's parenting skills. Once when Samantha was around 11 years old, she was on the internet talking to different guys. When we found out, Sandy took her iPad away. Then when I went back to work, Sandy gave it back to her. Samantha always played the victim, so Sandy always runs to her aid. When Samantha didn't do her homework and the teacher gave her a failing grade, Sandy was so upset she calls the school and interrogates the teacher and tells her she deserves an A. Sandy lies to me too to protect Samantha. She'll tell me that Samantha's not on the iPad when my mother says she's seen her on the iPad. I'm fed up with Sandy consistently covering up for her daughter. Samantha's destroying my marriage. I've drawn the line in the sand. When summer comes, Samantha's going to her father and she's not coming back. I do not want to live under the same roof with that child.
Well, that sounded like an ultimatum.
Pretty much.
Have you drawn a line in the sand here?
I've drawn the line in the sand.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
And what's pushed you over the edge? Is it an accumulation of things?
It's 10 years in the making. I mean, that's all it is. It's the constant fighting, the arguing, the screaming, the yelling, the cover-ups, the deceit, the lies. It's 10 years worth.
Right.
And I don't want to live like this anymore.
Right. And y'all have been married 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she was 3 when you got married.
Correct.
Do you have any other children?
Yeah, I got 2 boys.
And they're how old?
29 and 25.
So big gap in there. Are you a permissive parent?
I don't think so.
You admit that you did nothing when Samantha used inappropriate language in text messages and said Samantha commits sins like we all do. You got to make an excuse for her. You made excuses when Samantha did not do her chores. You said it's just normal for a child. You don't make Samantha do chores like take the trash bag out of her daughter's hand and said screw this. We talked about that. You don't have to empty the trash anymore. You bought a computer for her, but you kept it a secret from him. You allowed her to use a computer and iPad when he's away. She's been grounded from it. You go behind his back and let her do it anyway.
I have.
So, and according to him, you don't enforce punishment after Samantha posted address and phone number on social media.
I disagree with that. I did punish her, and she had to be grounded from it.
But when he went to work, you let her use them.
Not right away. I mean, I'll let it go in a matter of months, and then I'll finally say this is unrealistic. I can't keep her from
But y'all
this
don't
stuff.
talk about that. You just do it behind his back.
No, we can't talk about it. No.
Okay. Then you told Samantha that she doesn't have to do chores, according to him. He says you allow her to do as she pleases because you don't want her daughter to live with her dad.
That's not true.
So he wants the daughter out, she wants the mother-in-law out. So it's like we're going to have, what, trade prisoners of war here?
Ian's mother constantly stirs the pot. She calls us lazy. She calls us slobs. She'll chastise Sammy for anything.
Miss Yvonne puts up a front like she likes me, but in her emails she said a lot of mean things about me. And one time it said, I told the child I loved her today, but that could be far from the truth.
Yvonne is sabotaging her son's life, his marriage, and his happiness. I don't want Yvonne to live with us anymore.
Now, Yvonne admits that she tells on Sandy and Samantha, but says it's because Sandy always tries to undermine her son Ian by telling 15-year-old Samantha that she does not have to listen to him or do anything he says.
I see nothing in this home except bad parenting, lies and deceit. For 6 years, I've heard Sandy degrade my son. Ian's not a good Christian man. Ian swears too much. Ian is this, Ian is that. If I spoke about Samantha the way Sandy talks about Ian, she would have killed me by now. I don't think she's a good wife to my son. Sandy doesn't cook. Ian doesn't need to be pampered. He's the one that supplies the roof over our head and the food in our stomachs. Sam does lie all the time. I have chocolates in a container in my room. These chocolates are disappearing and I think Samantha is stealing them. I confronted her and she denied it. I told her, why doesn't she be an honest Christian instead of a disgusting liar? Sandy never holds her daughter accountable for her behavior. Never ever. She has no manners. I think it's extremely rude. One time the cops had to fetch her from somebody's house. She was missing until dark. We all panicked. We finally did find her. She needed a spanking. That was extremely dangerous. Sandy needs to see the mistake she's making with her daughter. If Sandy and Sam come back home and things do not change, I will go back to South Africa.
Okay, so first of all, I just have to say, if I had to live in their house, I'd probably be lying about what I'm doing too. I would hide all my stuff. Because if you take chocolates out of grandma's candy dish and you don't own up to it, you're a disgusting liar. That's like a very intense shaming situation right there. I don't know why disgusting has to be part of it. It just, I don't know, something is off here. I'm not quite sure what it is. There is too much permissible parenting going on here. It seems like the stepdad does not even like this child at all and said that he's tired of these problems. They've been happening for 10 years. Well, she's 15, so he was tired of this when she was 5, a 5-year-old child. It seems like he doesn't like her, so why should she have to follow his rules? Why can't she just follow her mother's rules? I don't get it.
Well, Yvonne, thank you for joining us. What do you think about the fact that she says you're stirring the pot?
Well, I suppose that's how she would think about it.
Are you ratting her out? Or are you telling him things that upset him about what's going on when he's not around?
I do not creep around and spy. I've got other things to do. If I walk in and I see something, it's there open for me to see. But I do not sneak around and listen at doors like somebody else I know. But anyway.
But you said you caught Samantha on the iPad and said, why aren't you an honest Christian instead of being a disgusting liar?
Yeah, because she was sitting with a pillow, you see, and the moment I walked in, I realized she was on the iPad. But now it must try and cover it up, you see. We must turn the pillow and get that guilty look. Well, why not just sit there with the iPad? Who cares?
Well, she knew you were going to rat her out.
No.
Well, that's why she's hiding it. She came in, the guard came in.
Yeah, the dragon.
I'm getting the sense that she wants you out because she feels like you're his eyes and ears when he's gone, and that when he comes home, you pump him full of information.
And if he asks, I don't go and say, Ian, now sit down, I'm going to tell you from day 1 to day 14. No, I've got other things to talk about.
You seem like a really gracious lady. Did you pull a knife on her?
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought about it afterwards. It's actually, well, I thought it was funny, but I suppose at the time it wasn't.
Well, you had the
funny.
knife, so.
I was cutting the dog's meat.
It's really funny if you got the knife.
I don't remember the trash can episode. I don't remember that. But there was words going on, and I was cutting the dog's meat, and Sandy appeared right here and screaming and shouting, and I sort of turned with a knife like that. It wasn't the forehead, it was the cheek. And then I realized that this was a dangerous situation.
It was the cheek?
I thought it was the forehead, but
No,
it's coming
was
back.
The cheek, yeah.
But
well, if there's a
touched me in
shit
the face.
involved, I don't think it matters where you're putting it.
She survived, I've survived, here we are.
Well, Ian says his 15-year-old stepdaughter is a master manipulator who wants to destroy his marriage so she can have her mother all to herself. He wants the daughter out, she wants the mother-in-law out. I've worked with a lot of families. This is the first one that's going to involve Checkpoint Charlie, because we may do a prisoner exchange here. We're going to meet the stepdaughter and find out what she has to say after the break.
I always cover for Samantha. Ian says Samantha's a crackhead with electronics. I bought Samantha a computer for Christmas, but I have to keep it a secret from Ian.
Samantha's very good at playing me against her mother. Samantha's definitely driven a wedge down between us.
Ian says Sandy's daughter is the source of all their problems, and they've been fighting about her for the past 10 years. But Samantha says it's actually Ian who creates the conflict by attacking her.
I do not have a good relationship with my stepfather, Ian. He's very loud, he swears a lot, and he's just a very mean person. He says that I am lazy, calls me stupid, fat. He just makes it seem that I'm the most disgusting human being on the planet. I'm afraid when I'm around Ian, I rarely come out of my bedroom. My mom and Ian fight in front of me all the time. Sometimes they're full-blown out wars.
Instead of going and talking to your mom about this, you throw up at me. No, you didn't.
I don't understand why Ian hates me so much. When Miss Yvonne moved in with us 6 years ago, she would tell Ian all this information and he would get angry about it. For example, sometimes I would crawl into my mom's bed because I used to have night terrors, and Miss Yvonne would tell Ian and thought that was weird. My mom would get upset and then it would start a fight. I always feel like Miss Yvonne is watching me.
But Sam knows that I don't pick on her because I don't like her face.
Recently, Miss Yvonne asked me to take out the trash, and I only took it out 2 hours after she told me to. And she got upset about it and told Ian, and Ian got mad at my mom. Ian always says that it's my fault 100%. Last year, Ian kicked me and my mom out of the house. But Ian was constantly trying to get my mom back, and I kept on telling my mom, don't fall for it. And she promised me she wouldn't. I was very angry with my mom when she gave in and moved back. I felt like my mom betrayed my trust. I do not want my mom to stay married to Ian.
You know, we talked about some of the things that you do that he objects to, but I want to look at some of Ian's parenting according to you. He has accused Samantha of being the cause of the problems at home, that he's told Samantha that she is worthless. Have you said that to this child? Have you told her she's worthless?
Yes, I'll say I have, probably. I don't recall straight off the bat.
And you say that he makes Samantha dust and vacuum the entire house every Saturday, which you think is excessive, that he's accused Samantha of refusing to do chores if she's got something else to do, if she's even 5 minutes late, that he's told Samantha, you're breaking the rules, this is why I can't trust you, after he found candy wrappers in the drawers. He's accused Samantha of being lazy, rude, and unmotivated if she does not offer to help his mother in the kitchen. Threatened to kick Samantha out of the house 4 to 5 times in the last year. To her, you say that to Samantha?
Yes, I have.
I'm going to kick you out of this house.
I have said that to her on numerous occasions when we have sat down and been going through the same old story, the fighting and carrying on. Yes, I have.
And you've told her that she has to leave at the end of the school year.
Right.
Did you lock this child out of the house when she couldn't learn how to ride a bike?
No, I didn't lock her out of the house.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not lock her out of the house. I was working.
Let her go in the house.
I did not lock her out of the house. What I said to her was, this child was 11 years old, could not even ride a bicycle. Typical Samantha, she sat down and started having her meltdowns and trying to do the manipulation deal. And I said to her, you're not coming back in until you put an effort in to ride a bicycle. So we sat down on the island and we cried and we whined and we had a meltdown. And eventually she realized that I'm not giving in to her. Within an hour and a half, 2 hours, she was riding a bicycle, training wheels gone, and that was probably one of her proudest moments in her life.
Sandy says you didn't buy Samantha a Christmas gift. You said her biological father could buy her a gift.
Just past Christmas.
No, I didn't buy anything because I was offshore.
You were home. You went and bought gifts.
Well, I never bought her a Christmas gift. No, I didn't.
Have you accused her of stealing food from the kitchen?
Yes, I have. On a number of occasions, I've told her, Samantha,
from her own kitchen?
Yeah, our own kitchen. But it doesn't matter what I say because everything's justified by Sandy, so she's got to do it anyway.
We're going to find out what happened that made Ian kick his stepdaughter Samantha out of the house a few months ago. We'll be right back.
Yeah, this is why I felt like something was off, because clearly it is. It sounds to me like poor Samantha is living in a prison. That's exactly what it sounds like. She's afraid to even come out of her room to eat. She wants to stay in her room and hide. He's accusing her of stealing food from her own kitchen. That's an interesting one. Actually sounds kind of familiar to me because when I was in middle school around the same age, I had a stepfather who also accused me of stealing food from my own kitchen. You can't steal what belongs to you. She's a child, so the food in the kitchen belongs to her too. He's claiming that at 11 years old, she had a meltdown. Maybe she was just an 11-year-old child. Like, maybe it wasn't manipulation. Maybe she's just a child. I don't know. Like, he and his mother, I don't even understand what their problem is. They're very judgmental. He seems very mean, and he really does not like her.
Ian has anger issues. He is constantly screaming and yelling.
I'm sick and tired of being everybody's flipping block.
He slams doors off the hinges.
I'm very afraid of Ian. He gets angry at the littlest things. If the phone doesn't do what he wants it to do, he'll throw it across the room.
I felt unsafe at times. When he's working on one of his motorcycles, he'll throw a tool, and I worry one day he's going to throw it and hit me.
He reminds me of a child when he gets angry.
I'm curious how you feel about all of this. What would you like to see happen?
I would definitely want to change in the house. I do not like the conflict in the house at all. I don't want any of that, and I would like to see it change, but I feel like there is a lot of pressure on me in the house, and it's just hard to grow up in an environment like that.
Yeah. Do you feel safe in the home?
No,
Do you feel tension in the home?
absolutely.
Do you feel wanted in the home?
No.
And he's banished you from the house at the end of the year, correct? Why do you think that is?
Because he says that he's tired of what I do in the house and all the problems that I create.
And what is it that he thinks you do?
He thinks that I'm trying to tear my mom and him apart.
Are you?
I don't want to do that.
He says that you're manipulative and that you lie and that you're lazy and...
I make mistakes just like anybody else, and I understand that, but I sometimes feel like those labels are very harsh on me when I try to do my best around the house.
So what grade are you in?
I'm in 9th grade.
How do you do in school?
I'm doing amazing. I'm in the gifted program. I've already won a scholarship for math.
I mean, how many times have you been suspended?
None. Zero.
Expelled?
Zero.
Disciplined?
Nothing's ever happened like that.
How many criminal charges do you have against you?
No criminal charges.
I'm sorry?
No criminal charges.
No misdemeanors? No felonies? No. Any crimes of violence against anyone?
No.
So in the home environment, there seems to be conflict, but in the school environment, you seem to flourish.
Yes.
She has developed like an anxiety disorder. Even just Ian coming home, I mean, I've seen her sick to the point where she's throwing up.
If you could write a script for this family, what would the script look like over the next few years?
Over the next few years, I'm hoping that we can salvage this family. As much, like, the only reason why I want to get out of the house is because I'm scared of being in the house, and I do not like the tension in the house.
When was the last time he sat you down and told you what a terrific young woman you were?
I don't think that's ever really happened. We've had conversations of what I need to do better, what the house needs to do better, and he does give me compliments from time to time, and I appreciate that, but it's never been like, let's sit down and all I have to say is positive for you. It's always been, I'll say a bunch of negative and then I'll give you like maybe a positive.
Well, that I've never heard.
What would it...
You weren't around when we had the discussions, that's
What
why.
would it mean to you if you knew he was a huge fan of yours and just thought you were just absolutely spectacular?
It would mean a lot to me, and it would change how I act in the house if I knew that you guys were supportive of me.
Why would that be important to you? Why do you care what he thinks?
Because you're just such a big influence in my life. You've always been there, and you know, when all you have to say is negative, that's all I think that I am. I'm disgusting.
What do you say to yourself when you're alone? Maybe it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're staring at the ceiling.
It's really hard to not think. There has to be some way I can get out of this situation, whether it's out of it completely or just like end my life. It's come to that sometimes. And it's really difficult for me to have a positive outlook on life when all these things are happening to me.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. And at the break, I'm going to excuse Samantha and Yvonne and talk to this married couple for a minute. We'll be right back. Well, Sandy says that she's fed up with the way things are going. I don't know whether she is or not, but I wanted to talk to these two without the child here and without the mother here. And I really think I know what's wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you. So I guess I'll start with you, since I think I know what's wrong with you.
Okay, let's go.
I think you're a loudmouth bully. And no, hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. I think you have a rage problem. And I don't think it is specific to her. I think you have a rage problem that's made you really intolerant. And when you affect a child the way you're affecting her, you can't tell me you're not smart enough to know that you are eroding her self-esteem and you are eroding her self-worth. And for you to do what you're doing to the point that that young lady who is a gifted honor student in school, and is she lying? Is she being manipulative? Is she being non-compliant with the house rules? Yes, 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 and yes. It's called teenage. It's called a teenager. And I'm not saying that that's not what you aspire to be, but managing by intimidation, threatening her, yelling at her, kicking her out of the house is absolutely not the way to bring about change in that child. But you don't just rage at her. You have a rage problem, do you not?
I got a short temper, yes I do.
And
yes,
you're taking it out on her, not just her, but you are taking it out on her. And I don't think you mean to do that, but you have to stop and realize the power you have over this young girl.
I understand that, and I agree with you there. But on the other side of the coin, as I said before, I've had 10 years of this between Sandy, Sammy's father, and her mother. It has been it's just never ended.
10 years of suffering and 10 years of change are two different things.
We have been to several counselors, nothing. Same situation, no results. I don't fall through. I sat there and told that counselor, I'm not coming back because this is a waste of time.
You have to inspire change. You don't demand change. You cannot stand over this child and bark at her and yell at her and command her to do things. You've got to make her want to do things. Let me tell you, there were just 5 of us sitting here. Trust me, she's the smartest of the bunch.
You're probably right.
No,
You're probably right.
our kids are smarter than we are.
Yep.
Trust me, try to help her with her math. And she's smart enough to know that she is being managed by intimidation and she is not welcome. You can have a positive influence in her life and you can get what you want in the process. It takes 1,000 attagirls to erase one, you're no damn good. It takes 1,000 attagirls to erase that. And you are being abusive with this child. What the hell are you thinking? You don't subject your daughter to something like this. Your job is to protect her. You say, I'm fed up with this, I'm fed up with this. You continue to bring her into a hostile environment where somebody is pounding on her self-esteem, pounding on her self-worth, getting her to the point that she's lying in bed at 2 in the morning thinking my only way out is to end my life. What the hell is wrong with you, woman? Your job is to protect your child. And if for some reason, call it a warp in the cosmos, these two just have bad chemistry, and you say, I'm having to choose between my husband and my child, there is no choice. If you get in a situation where you're standing on the end of the wharf and he's drowning and she's drowning, you throw her the life preserver 100 out of 100 times. That's not a close call. Sorry, you drown every time. You save your child. You save your child. Your job is to save your child. What you're doing is child abuse. I hate to tell you that, but have you read the definition of negligence?
I neglected her.
You know he is eroding her self-esteem. You know he is damaging her mentally and emotionally, and you continue to walk her right into the hands of her abuser day after day after day. That is abuse. You either walk her out of this or I'm reporting you before the sun sets today.
Yes.
If he wants to get serious and work on himself and this family, I will provide not some patronizing, corner garden variety therapist. I will get you a pro that has the gumption to stand up to your management by intimidation tactics, and we will work on this. Until that happens, you have to protect your child.
So I need to leave.
Damn right you need to leave. You cannot continue to walk your child into the hands of an abuser.
We can't have a marriage like that.
That's fine.
You want to work on this or you want to get out of it?
I'll work on it. I'll take whatever help, whether this works out for us or not. I have no idea. I do not know. I will take whatever help you offer, and I appreciate it. But as far as the dynamic in that house, I have no idea. I'm not a fortune teller. All I know is I'm done with 10 years of this.
Yes, you are. Yes,
I'm done with the lies, the deceit, the behavior.
She's done with the mental emotional abuse. So that's one thing we can agree on.
We
the 10 years of this is over.
Yep.
Because she's not going to have that anymore, and you don't want to put up with it anymore, and she's not going to put up with it anymore. So that's something we agree on. It needs to end.
100%.
It needs to end. I agree with you on that. And I will get you help if you will take it.
I will take it.
You know there's no choice here. You must protect your child.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm going to say goodbye here, but I'm going to go backstage and sit down with your permission and speak to your daughter for a few minutes. I really wanted to come back here to say one thing in particular. On behalf of the adult generation, I'm really sorry that this is going on. You didn't deserve this. You're a smart girl. You got a lot going on for you. I'm sorry for what he's done. I'm sorry that your mother's allowed it. I'm sorry they didn't know better at the time, but I'm going to get them the help so they know better now. You just keep doing what you're doing because you're just doing spectacular. And I don't ever want to hear you again say you're thinking about, well, maybe I should end my life. That's a way out of this. Don't you ever say that again.
I will never say that again.
Deal?
Deal.
All right. We're going to get help here. Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay, so in this episode, we have Sandy, who wrote into the show about the tension between her husband Ian and her daughter Samantha. And then Ian's mother, Yvonne, is also living in the house for the last 6 years. So Ian definitely has anger and rage issues. I'm glad Dr. Phil called that out. He really seems to flat out hate this 15-year-old child. Now we learn that at school, somehow through all of this verbal, emotional, psychological abuse that she's been experiencing for the past 10 years, somehow she's still doing really well in school, getting straight A's in a gifted program, no behavioral issues, no suspensions or anything. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was affecting her behavior in school, but it's not. And he can't even compliment her on that. He can't even recognize how wonderful of a student she is. It seems like in his mind, she's just completely terrible. The way he and his mother judge her, calling her a liar, I mean, I would lie too if I'm a 15-year-old girl and I'm not allowed to breathe in my own home, not allowed to get food in my own home. I've been a 15-year-old girl in that environment, and I just really isolated myself and kept to myself. I'm so glad that Dr. Phil called it what it is, abuse, from Ian and from the mom, Sandy. Neglect is abuse. So she is neglecting and therefore abusing her child by allowing this man to abuse her child. She has no excuse for that. The fact that he kicked them both out and she had somewhere to go and chose to go back, it seems like she has somewhere else that she can go. So why go back to this man? I think that if Samantha left the home, he would just find some other person to be angry at, probably Sandy, and then take out all of his rage on her. And then everything would be her fault. Right now, Samantha's the easy scapegoat. So this is narcissistic, this is abusive, this is emotional, psychological violence. This poor child is thinking about ending her life, but still somehow manages to get straight A's. So I'm really glad that Dr. Phil called it out for what it is and said, if you don't do something about this, I'm going to report you. But what did you guys think about this episode? What do you think about this man? Why is he so angry? Do you agree with him and his mom that this 15-year-old child is just a disgusting, worthless liar? He called her worthless. Remember that. Do you think she's just lazy? Although I don't know how she's lazy if she's getting straight A's in a gifted program. Clearly she's disciplined and capable of hard work. What do you think about the mom, Sandy? Why is she subjecting her child to this? And this man keeps talking about this was going on for 10 years. He's tired of the lies. For 10 years, she was 5 years old 10 years ago. He's mad at a 5-year-old child for being a 5-year-old child. I don't even know what else to say about this, but you guys let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any personal experience with something similar. Drop it in the comments.